Hey, Ryan Michael Galloway here with WeDon'tNeedNoStinkingRecordCompany.com, and right now we're in the middle of 20 ways to make it in the music business, and I believe we're on like number 6. We'll see what we can get in tonight. So one of the things that you're going to have to learn to do is learn how to sell, and I mean sell on multiple levels. If you're not a cooperative person, you're going to have to learn how to be cooperative. If you're a shy person, you're going to have to learn to get a little bit bold. You're going to have to learn how to pitch things in a positive way. You may be pitching things to managers or record companies or audiences or whatever. And I suppose I have an illustration of the attitude. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen a band or an individual performer come out and say, well, here's a song that I wrote, and I don't know, it may kind of suck, and you know, I mean, we've played it a couple times and worked on it, and yeah, it's okay. See if you like it, and then they play the song. And even if the song came out good, you'd be kind of like maybe relieved that it came out good, as opposed to going, yeah, that's great. So the difference is you run on stage, you command the stage, you take every step with a great deal of confidence, and you say to the audience, you know, depending on the kind of music you play, but basically you pitch it really positive. You say, hey, ladies and gentlemen, we have got a great song for you. Are you people ready to rock and roll? And they say, I can't hear you. If you're ready to rock and roll, let me hear you say yeah. And they go, yeah. And basically they'll do anything you tell them to do. They're a large group of people. They've probably been drinking. Say, well, we got a great new song for you. We just put this together. It's one of our favorite songs right now, and you're going to love it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you hit it off. Whatever it is. Totally different attitude. It's likely they're going to like it just because you talked them into liking it. And that's selling the song. And when you're singing that song, you know, you're not looking at your shoes when you're doing it. You're showing intensity, or you're staring at the back wall so it pulls in the entire audience, or you're doing whatever you can to project that whole attitude across to them, even if it's moody, or even if it's serious, or even if it's quiet, so that you pull that audience into what you're doing. And that is selling a song. And that's the kind of attitude you take with you everywhere. So what's something else you can do to further your music career? Well, my next point is practice. Now, having a little trouble because you don't know a song or you hit a glitch is one thing, and often it's how you recover. And if you're a very strong performer, you recover really well. I mean, everybody hits a glitch from time to time, but the more practiced you are, the less often that mistakes are going to happen, serious mistakes are going to happen. And when they do, everybody and you yourself know well enough to pick right up and move on. And you know, everybody gets tight and they do the rest of the song pretty well, or whatever. You recover and you move on. If you're not well practiced, you can't do that. You will fall apart completely. John Lennon used to say, don't play a song in public until you've played it 100 times. And I don't know if I agree with that exactly, but you should at least be pretty doggone solid so that you're not going to embarrass yourself when you go out and do that. And then the next step, the next thing you can add to that list of 20 things to do is to play live. Because playing live once is equal to 10 rehearsals. So, yeah, and you'll see it. You'll go out and you make a couple, you know, you'll know the song pretty well. You'll go out and you'll make a couple of mistakes in front of people, and you will probably never make those same mistakes again, because you'll go back and very intently straighten those things out. All the weak parts of the song will come out very quickly, and you'll get it fixed, and it'll be very strong from there on out. So even if you've got to go out for the first, you know, 5 or 10 or 100 gigs and play free, play live. It will galvanize you. And, you know, actually, if you want to talk about what happened with the Beatles played live for a long time, years before they got to be a hit in the London scene and start selling records. That act of playing live for years together really locked that group together as a unit. If they hadn't done all that awful stuff in Hamburg, playing 8 hours a day or whatever it was they were playing, it was a lot. If they hadn't done that night after night, week after week, I don't think they would have had the strength to survive the overwhelming thing that happened to them. And I know they broke up eventually, but not before they got a tremendous amount of great records out. So that's another key one, is playing live. Now, here's another one that's extremely critical, and that is to write or select new material. And I know we just came through a period of time where I concentrated on writing music, writing songs for a while. That's because without having some kind of new content, it is very difficult to get anyone to pay attention to you as having created anything, of note. Certainly you can rework an awful lot of other older songs. Sometimes they have to be so old they seem like they're brand new to your audience. And that's okay. Know enough certainly about songwriting, what makes a good song and that kind of thing, to select songs that are going to help further your career if you don't write them yourself. And on top of that, hey, there's a ton of places to go find people to write for you. There's an army of writers out there. In our community, we started something called the Collin County Songwriters Association that pulled together about 100 people that write. And we're all working with each other and trying to make each other better. And any one of us, I'd say, 99% of us would love to write for somebody else if somebody else wanted to play our song. Hey, you can take any of mine that you like. Just, obviously cut me in, or, if it's a small regional release, I'm probably not even going to charge you to use it. I just need my music exposed right now on the lower levels. And so that's one thing you can do. There's tons of groups out there, Idle Underground, Garage Band, different places that you could go to find songwriters. Mixposure.com, Mixposure. Lots of places to find songwriters, even out on Facebook. I'm sure you can find some. So if you don't have any original music and you can't write it, go find some. And the old rules probably still apply. They used to say it's got to be upbeat, positive, danceable, and sexually oriented to be a breaking hit. And yeah, there's some very notable exceptions to that. But the record companies kind of had their own rules or guidelines for a reason, and that was because those kinds of things are a lot easier to promote. So I don't know, consider that while you're out there writing or selecting your songs. And I'd say another point in my 20 ways to make new music is don't be afraid to polish. And by polish, I mean every time you walk off stage, if you're a solo artist, think about what's happened, take some notes, try to improve on things. If you're a band or a larger troupe, pull the team together and say, what did we do wrong tonight? What did we do good? What could we make better? What can we fix? So that you're constantly polishing. In the business world, they call it a process improvement loop. And I kind of specialize in that, as a matter of fact. So I can tell you there's a lot of things between your sound and your lights and your show and your steps and your looks and maybe arguments and things that happen on stage. And you want to, some people in a band are a little more professional than others, and so they need to guide the ones that are less professional into a more professional mindset and actions. All that happens through, after the show, post-mortem or review of, what did we do, how did we do, what can we make better. So those are some more of the 20 ways to make it in the music business. We've got at least 10 more coming. I am Ryan Michael Galloway, and you're at WeDon'tNeedNoStinkingRecordCompany.com.